guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Business Life with Tonii, and I share my journey and tips and things like that from starting my own home care agency. It's a non-medical home service agency. I have a license in Illinois, and I help others get started with various business ventures. I can't just say home care. Some people come here for home care, home health, daycare. We're not here, but I've helped people start daycare centers, doggy kennels, things like that. So I am well versed in many areas. I also have other things that I've been interested in myself, and so I have lots of knowledge. I like to read, I like to study, I like to research all those things. So I'm very knowledgeable. So I just come here and share my ideas with you all, or I share whatever I'm doing, whatever I think about, whatever I've put into policy, and like if I see there's a good outcome, anything like that, I bring it to you all. Of course, also if you have any questions, you could leave them in the comments section below, and I will create a dedicated video answering your questions. Although when my questions pile up, I'm starting to think that maybe I should have a dedicated video answering all the questions rather than one question. So I'm thinking about that. But anyhow, today I wanted to focus on, with the holidays coming up, right now it's September. I have my new series coming out. I think I'm gonna do weekly instead of bi-weekly, but so I'm not sure when you guys will see this, but currently it's September, the middle of September, and we have a bunch of holidays coming up. We always have birthdays coming up and things like that. So I would like, if you already have an agency, to kind of see when those times are that people are calling off. Keep track of those dates. Is it related to like birthdays? Is it related to holidays? Is it, the fact that people have children and they're out for spring break, or they're out for a holiday or parent-teacher conference and things like that. And then if you don't have an agency, these are just tips that, things that you want to acknowledge and write down, and just keep in the back of your head for the future. So one of the things I would recommend is the counties that you service. So the schools are in districts. So there's like District 1, District 2, District 3, and so on. So I would say if you know of the districts that are in your area, you could just Google online the district and get a calendar. So, if you can ask people, do you have children in the area? Because we usually like to send out reminders, don't forget your kids have. And, ask if it's okay if you send those reminders out, because they're responsible anyway. You don't show up to work, we have a 3-strike rule, or however your agency runs, you're gonna be responsible for that. But we do like to try to help you all out, because sometimes parents just forget. I'm a parent myself. This is the reason why I went into having my own agency, because there's so much that goes on with my kids, their allergies and things like that. And I just did not have the support. So that's why I jumped into this business. I felt like it would be easy for myself. So I know personally, sometimes, there's just so much going on that parents just forget. So one of the things as an agency you can help with, or you could delegate this task to your alternate agency manager, or if you have like a lead CNA, a CNA that kind of works in various areas for your agency, this is something that they could do, So just kind of send out text messages or emails or something like that, just saying like, hey, if you're a part of this district, don't forget your kids have a half a day. Don't forget they have parent-teacher conference or something like that. That's going to reduce the amount of call-offs that you have, because what happens is sometimes they forget, and then they say, oh, I have to leave early. I forgot my kid has a half a day today. On holidays, I would recommend, as this time is approaching, it's going to be cold. People are going to complain about their tires. They're going to say, I woke up to a flat tire, or my tire is low. I'll be there shortly. It's snowing, and I can't drive in this type of weather, or I'm afraid to drive in this weather. I'm sick. I woke up coughing. You're going to have many people calling in for various reasons, right? So I would say to update their availability. Make sure they update their availability by a certain time. And you can do this quarterly. You can do this, just as it starts to get cold. So just think about where you live at and when that time frame is. So for me here in Illinois, I would say it's probably going to get cold around maybe mid-November, the end of November. So before we get there, I want to, go ahead and send something out and ask people to kindly update their availability. Are you available to be on call in your area? As long as it's in your area, are you available to be on call in this zip code plus the zip code next to you or something like that. So just kind of figuring out those things. Asking if they're willing to work more hours than they're on schedule for. Some people are willing, or not willing, but some people are waiting for more hours. Some people want more hours. They haven't had a chance to tell you yet. They haven't had a chance to figure their schedule out yet. They just haven't thought about it. They probably figured out if there were more hours, they would ask me. So, sometimes some people want the hours, but they just haven't asked, or they're just not going to ask for whatever reason. They're waiting on you to reach out, which of course, closed mouth doesn't get fed. If we want something, we be a grown up about it and we ask, but some people are just not like that, or some people haven't thought about it. So as long as you bring it to their attention, they might be like, oh, you know what, I actually do have more time to myself, or actually now my kids go with their dad on the weekends, or actually, for whatever reason, they may want to work more hours. So those are good people to have on standby in case people are calling off. You could say, I know such and such is going to call off next week, the entire week. Would you like to pick up some hours there? This is all going to save you from rushing to find some coverage or going into work yourself, because we have those clients sometimes that are like, you need to be on time. They don't want you a minute late. They don't want you calling off. Every little thing you do, there's a problem. We don't want to start having a bad reputation based on our caregivers. So if we can eliminate that, then let's do that. And this is one of the things you can do to eliminate that. So I would make a list of times that you get your call off. So this could be like after people receive their taxes, right? They disappear for a while. They may have new toys. They got a new car. They want to take a road trip. They got a new house. They want to furnish their home. They want to enjoy it for a little while. They take off for those things, right? If there's a holiday coming up, if there's a spring break coming up, they want to, they sporadically get invited on a trip. So people start taking off, which rightfully so. They have the right to take off and let you know and take off. But then of course you have people that want to pick up those hours. Birthdays, just ask casually. When I used to apply for jobs, I would let them know right away the first day of the interview. I generally take off 10 days for my birthday. I go out of the country. And if I could think of anything else, I usually have like my birthday, I take off 10 days, and a family vacation. We're usually gone for like 4 or 5 days. So I would say, I have a family trip. I don't know exactly when it is yet, but it's usually 5 days. I can let you know, a month in advance or something, because my family would never go anywhere without a month's worth of planning. And they would be fine with that. So, I would want the same type of courtesy. If they're not going to mention it to you, then maybe you can ask. So while you're interviewing, oh, your birthday's in February. Are you going to do anything special? Do you have a trip planned or anything? And then if they say that, be like, oh, also, if you're going to take off for those days or something, try to let us know like a week or a month in advance, whatever your agency prefers, But just make it like a conversation. Just make it natural. And that's also like building rapport with your caregivers. I know I spoke in my last video about building rapport with your clients, but this is like building rapport with your caregivers. It's just a conversation. It opens up the floor for other conversations and things for you to think about. Another thing I would recommend, when I see agencies and I hear people that work for places, they're like, they don't have childcare, or they have situations at home that they need assistance with. I think I've said this before, but I'm really big on resources. So if you know anybody that you trust, try to see if you can work with them. If, I might have some caregivers that need childcare. Give me a few of your business cards. I'll sit them, in the office, or I'll put them, I don't know, if you have an office and you have like a refrigerator in there or something, or I don't know, if you have somewhere where your caregivers can see the resources, or if they continue to mention like, oh, the daycare is closed today, or my child can't go to daycare today because of whatever, the person is on vacation, something like that, you can refer them to someone else. They could still have if they already have childcare and it's just one of those days that they're closed, they could still have their childcare, but then maybe they can have this person as a backup. But I am really big on resources. So if something comes up and people are stressing out and they have an issue going on, that means while they're at work they can't focus. They're stressed out in their mind. They're there, but mentally their mind is somewhere else, and that's not good for your agency. So, and even with families and our clients, I'm really big on resources. I'm just a person that never had that support. So when it comes to resources, I'm like a resource queen, and I really strive to provide those resources for people, so much to the point where, as soon as somebody starts talking to me, I'm already trying to figure out in my brain who I can connect them with. And I'm trying to stop doing that because sometimes people just want to talk. They don't want suggestions, they don't want resources, they just want to talk and get it out. But that could be really helpful to them and you, their family. And another thing regarding that, just being in the community, you're going to be networking, you're going to come across a lot of people, a lot of resources and things like that. Just keep your eyes and ears open always. I know I spoke about this before as well, but just always keep your eyes and ears open, because you never know what resource can just help somebody tremendously. Another thing I'm thinking about is, when there was an issue and people couldn't afford the CPR course. I needed caregivers, and they would see CPR and they're like, I'm not paying $100 or something for that class. No, or they would need a physical or a TB test. They don't know where to go to get the TB test. They don't know how much it costs, and then they find out how much it costs, and they're like, well, it don't even matter what it costs. I don't want to pay for it. So, I found people in the community, resources, organizations that were like, if you have people that can't afford it and they're willing to work and you're going to hire them, let us know who they are, or tell them to, let us know that you sent them, and we'll pay for it. We'll cover it. We will help them get the things that they need so that they can work for you. And that is like such a blessing. Like, it's a win-win for everybody, and I feel proud that I found that connection, because that's going to change somebody's life. And just knowing that somebody's going to bet on them. Like I said, coming from somebody who just doesn't have support, these community resources, they just mean so much. And just a little relief of like, wow, I really can get my foot in the door at that job. All I needed was my CPR card, and somebody's going to help me get that. I know what that feels like. So for caregivers, for clients, try to come up with a resource list. If they're vets, they were in the military, there's a tremendous amount of resources for them. If they're senior, well, obviously I work with seniors. So as seniors, they have so many resources. Caregivers have so many resources, frontline workers, right? So they have a lot of resources. And then besides that, just community resources. So we have something called, let's see, who do we have? We have the YWCA is pretty popular. They're pretty popular. They're pretty much everywhere. YWCA helps with childcare. I don't want to say, I can't remember what else they assist with, but maybe I need to refresh in my memory. We have something called Two Rivers Head Start. They helped put me through school, actually, for CNA my first time in 2012. So, we have caregivers. So if somebody wants to go from a caregiver to a CNA, and they're like, hey, how can I make an extra dollar? Or, how can I move up in the company? I would refer them to Two Rivers Head Start, which would pay for their CNA course. The college is, if somebody's like, I want to say up to the age of 24, they pay for their CNA course. They can also pay for that through financial aid. So, just these different resources. And then once they complete that class, they're excited and they're motivated and they're ready to work, because guess what? They're going to make an extra dollar, or whatever your agency pays for a CNA versus a caregiver. So just different things like that, and I feel like also if you connect them with people like that, they feel like a genuine connection to you. You've opened up like a new level to that relationship, and they look at you differently. They don't want to disappoint you. They want to work with you. They feel loyal to you. So I recommend creating a resource list and getting out there. And when you're trying to figure out how to get clients and things like that, also try to figure out what you can do to keep them, and to create resources for them. But that's pretty much it. Just set yourself up throughout the year for the times that, you know, it's going to slow down. Christmas coming up, lots of people want to work because they want to have good Christmases. They have kids. Some people want to take trips because it's cold. They want to go away for the winter. Or, you know, some people may not have kids and Christmas doesn't really mean anything to them. So, you know, they're calling off and they don't care because they don't have kids. They're going to say they're sick. They're going to say their tires are, you know, messed up or something. And then you have a mom that has 5 kids, 3 kids, 2 kids, whatever, and she wants to get as many hours in as she can. So it's going to be okay if you can swap them out. Okay, well, you want to keep calling off and you don't want to work. I have a mom over here that she wants her kids to have a good Christmas. I'm going to give her your hours. And then as an agency, you're not missing out anywhere. So try to set those things up ahead of time. Another thing is, if you know locally there's going to be construction going on, remind people, you know, I know there's going to be construction going on 87th Street. Make sure you leave home a good enough amount of time to make it to your client's home, you know, things like that. Let them know, you know, if you have kids or, you know, you take care of yourself, you need to make it to doctor's appointments. You should already know. So I'm really big on making sure my kids make it to their doctor's appointments and things like that. Like I said, they have allergy issues and all kinds of stuff going on with that. So, you know, there's vision, there's teeth, there's allergy testing, there's all these things. And I already know every 6 months is a teeth cleaning. I already know every 6 months is a breathing, what's it called, like a pulmonary testing and things like that. So I already know these things. So I can already say, you know, I'm going to have to leave early on this day to go get my kids and make sure they make it to their doctor's appointment on time. So, you know, as a parent, there's nothing that the caregivers or the CNAs can get passed on me, you know, unless it's just like, oh, it's a slip up and I forgot. Because other than that, we are adults. We should be responsible. We should know that we need to go get our teeth cleaned every 6 months. We should know that we're, you know, looking or thinking about taking a trip on our birthday. You know, if it falls through, great, we have backup. If it doesn't, I appreciate you willing to fill in for this person, but they're not going to take that trip, you know. So yeah, just helping them and reminding them about things that they have going on is going to help you in the long run. Even just sending out mass messages, emails, putting it, like, if they have, I don't know, if anybody does paper checks, I used to have stuff stapled to my paper checks when I work, so maybe that's an idea. But that's it. There's nothing else. That's all I wanted to say. So I hope you guys found value in this video. Definitely check out the Facebook group. If you are interested in a Service Planner Pro, the link is in the description box below. You can get that on Amazon. And if you have not subscribed yet, please consider doing so. There are many videos to check out, many shorts to check out, and I hope to see you in the next video. Yeah, okay,